And folks, this is question 8. We have a square base here. That means each side of it is 6. So really we're finding the length of the diagonal here and then going to divide it in 2. The length of that over there is 6 as well. So we just need to do 6 squared plus 6 squared is equal to x squared. So that's 72 is equal to x squared. So we'll get 6 root 2 is equal to x, and then you just divide by 2 because we're just looking for the length OB. 3 root 2. And then we're looking for OP, that's the height of it. We know now that in here is 3 root 2, and we know that the diagonal is 11. So we're using Pythagoras again. It's a right angle triangle there in the middle. So it's going to be 11 squared is equal to 3 root 2 squared plus the height, which is the OP squared. So 121 is equal to 18 plus OP squared. Take away the 18, we get 103 is equal to OP squared. So OP is equal to root 103. And that's what they want. They want it in Cert form. Right. We have to find the area of the 4 triangular faces. Well, one triangular face, well, that's 11 because it's just what's going up. And then the square base at the bottom, remember, is 6. So the bottom of it is 6. And it says that, well, that's P A B. Just double check that. Is that the angle P to A to B is 74.2 degrees. So it's just going to be half AB sine C. That's what we're using. And it's going to be a half. A is 11, B is 6. Or you could do them the opposite way if you want. Sine of 74.2. And that's all. The times it by 4 as well, actually. So you just multiply by 4 and it gives us 127 centimeters squared or meter squared. Right, so we just need to complete this net here. So it shouldn't be too difficult. Now, we know that the angle in it is 74.2, bottom of it of the triangle. So I think if you just use your protractor here and you measure out, so you put your protractor on kind of along that line there, and then you measure 74.2, and it'll just give us what it is here, and then you measure out 4, is it 4? Sorry, 6 is the bottom of the triangles. So you just measure out 6 centimeters. So you've calculated your angle there, you measured out, and then you can just connect whatever that point is up to the top. It's the first, that's one, that's another triangle, and then we just need one more. And we do it again. Just draw it on. I'm not sure if it'll work or not. You should if you just do the same thing again. The other way of doing it, yeah, you should leave that point in then when you've measured the angle with it. Is so if you find the center of the square, so you can just use the diagonals to find the center of the square. And if you draw a line straight down with your ruler, just down kind of indefinitely, And then we use our compass. So you put the pin of your compass on the middle, and then you draw an arc around there, and then you can draw another arc down, and it'll be down here somewhere, and that'll have to be the other point then of your another triangle. That's how you could put a triangle on the bottom, and then that's it really. So there's lots of different ways of doing that. Right here then, she measures it wrong. She thinks it's 52, so we have to figure out what it is exactly. We can use trigonometry. It's opposite over adjacent. So tan of our angle is equal to 17.5 over 15. So A is equal to tan inverse of 17.5 over 15. Then A is equal to, you get 49.4. Then difference then obviously is 2.6. When you do 52 take away 49.4, that's 2.6, or she's out by 2.6 basically. So you do 2.6 over what it actually is. So it actually is 49.4. And you multiply that by 100. That's 5.3% when you round it off. The next one is sine rule. You have to figure out what the angles in here are. So that angle in there is 180 take away 180 take away 35, that's 145. And then if you do 180 take away 22 take away 145, is it 13? So let's just use sine rule then. So they tell us to use sine rule, and it's just picking a side. So if I take x and put it over sine of the angle across from it, it's 145. That has to be equal to uh, 10 over sine of the angle across from it. The angle across from the 10 is the 13. And then cross multiply then. I always said to cross multiply. All you have to do is move over to sine 145 here. But if you were to cross multiply, sine 13 is equal to 10 sine 145. So x is equal to 10 sine 145 over sine 13. And that should be equal to 25.5. Right, we have to get the height of the tower then. Let's just draw these out a little bit so they're a little bit clearer. Now we know that from there to there is 10, but we don't know the rest of it. So we're really trying to work out what the distance from there to there is first. And I'm using the bigger right angle triangle because I have some things that will help, because I have enough to figure that out. So if I do tan of 22 is equal to the opposite, which we'll just call it x, or I should call it something else. Just call it a over the hypot. Yeah, the adjacent is what is the thing that I want. Oh, yeah, sorry, that's not going to help us. So it's cos that I want to use. So if I do cos of 22, that's equal to the adjacent, which we'll call it a over the hypotenuse, which is 25.5, because we have the 25.5. So if you imagine that right angle triangle there, now we know part of it will be 10, but this will find out the whole thing for us. So if we just do 25.5 cos 22 is equal to a, it gives us 23.643. Therefore, the whole bottom there is 26.643. Therefore, we know that this bit in here is 13.643. Just taking away 10 from it. And then we can use tan to work out the height which we want, and then we just have to add on the 1.5 at the end. So tan of 35 is equal to opposite, just call it O, over the adjacent, which is 13.643. So do we do 13.643 multiplied by tan 35 is equal to the opposite. That's about 9.55. And if we add on the 1.5 then, it gives us 11.0, well, it'll be 11.1 actually when I round it off. When I was looking at it, I probably didn't need to do first bit. I could have just done sine of, because or what yeah, because you just need to figure out what the height is. So sine of 22 is equal to um, opposite over 25.5, and whatever it is, then you add on 1.5. So similar enough. It's just the way I was looking at it first.